opponent for Ryan here as we get underway. Ryan in the yellow and blue #United strips, Ajax Dani in the Ajax strips, of course. Ryan going left to right with the ball currently. He's got Dumfries at left back, Virgil van Dijk in the middle of his defence, and Da Costa at right back. We have seen the gameplay, the team selection change quite a bit over the last few months with the addition of the team of the season players, particularly in defence. But we've got the old stalwart of the middle, Ruud Gullit, alongside Patrick Vieira, and they've been there since the beginning.
And like you said, talking about these fullbacks, whether it's Mendy, Cancelo, Da Costa, Dumfries, you have so many new options with their upgraded foot items that it makes you wonder, how good are they at the competitive level?
Patrick Vieira with a poor pass there, cut out by the Ajax Vieira. And now it's Dani on the ball with Ruud Gullit over to Virgil van Dijk, the two Dutch players. Now Varane on the ball, team of the year Varane.
And someone like Ajax Dani's known for his patience, also known for his emotion at tournaments. Not somebody you necessarily want to sit across. He's definitely going to make noise, yell at you, maybe bang the table a little bit. He'll let you know that his presence, he's there. And,
chance here. Neymar gets his way into the box, finds Eusebio. Good pass. The keeper's all over the shop. Patrick Vieira does beat the offside trap. I thought for a second it was going to be offside, but he puts it into an empty net.
Moves the goalkeeper a little bit early. Ryan off to a good beginning here. I just realized you never gave me a prediction after you put me on the spot. It might be a little bit late now.
I mean, look at the keeper there. You're going to be disappointed with that. Obviously, Dani, if you're not familiar with goalkeeper movement, is trying to predict, speaking of predictions, where Ryan's going to go with his attempt, and he's got that one terribly wrong. So it's an easy finish for Patrick Vieira. I'm going to remain impartial in terms of predictions on this one, Mike, especially now we're underway. I think it's the only way to be. But Patrick Vieira there, 92 rated icon with the goal. And yeah, we talked about him as being someone that's been in the team since the beginning of the season, still doing bits, and not necessarily a goal scorer, but he's done well there for Ryan.
And I was going to say that Dani, when playing at his best, is a very frustrating opponent to go up against. But I wouldn't say at this tournament thus far, statistically, this would be supported. It hasn't been at his best.
Chance here for Ryan to go 2-0 up. Fantastic recovery defending for Dani at the back post. He would not have wanted to go 2-0 up, and he's got a chance here to go over the top for Kylian Mbappe. Keeper's come out. Van Dijk recovers well. And the goalkeeper with a tad risky chipped pass, but they've got away with it. And #Ryan can go again now. Van Dijk marshalling both defences here in this game. But Ronaldo on the left for Ryan in this match. As Da Costa receives it on the right. And he gives it to that man, one of your favourites, Kai Havertz there for Ryan.
I will co-sign Havertz for FIFA 19 every day of the week. Easily my favorite foot item from all the new Team of the Season foot items that have been introduced.
And if you had this account with every single player, you would start him?
He's a starter for me, absolutely. Him and Da Costa are both starting for me, and Ryan agrees. Yeah. He's got Da Costa. He's got Dumfries as a left back, which could be a little bit risky, but he's definitely not going to be giving up crosses, you would think.
Great play from Neymar! That is a top quality goal. Two La Croquetas back to back, left foot finish. Badger is smiling. He's happy with that one from his teammate.
And Ryan might say, that's the Arsenal way. Complete football. Everyone on the pitch touched the ball. I mean, top to bottom, we saw both fullbacks swing it side to side. Very patient.
He must change his formation.
If we do a replay there, I'm telling you, I think everyone on the pitch got a touch, was involved in the attack.
Look at that from Neymar, though. He had 4 Ajax shirts around him. Somehow managed to find a gap, get through them, and then a fantastic left-footed finish. That's what you get with Neymar with a 5-star weak foot, of course.
That's what we talk about on repeat, is that he's so dynamic that when he's at the top of the box or on the edge of the box, that you don't know what he's going to be able to do, whether that's opening up his body for a finesse shot, a long shot, a flick, skill move sessions, back-to-back La Croquetas. And once you get yourself inside the box, you got to think good things are going to happen when you've got a player like Neymar.
It's not a great start for Dani, but let's remember this is a 2-leg matchup. Plenty of time for him to get back in it as he's lost the ball here from kickoff, and Ronaldo can run down this left wing using power and pace for Ryan. He finds Neymar, who's already got 1 goal, but Van Dijk read that La Croqueta this time and cut it out. Ball over the top, which seems to be Dani's preferred tactic for this game. Havertz should score, but what a save from De Gea to stop what should be a goal, really, in terms of the chance.
Solid goalkeeper movement, almost a bit of a double pump fake almost with the goalkeeper, scoots him a little bit to the right, then brings him back to the left. Dani has to make a decision, and Ryan wins that mental dispute, that mental battle.
Talk to me about that tactic from Dani. We've seen him utilise it a couple times this game already. The ball over the top, obviously, he's got tremendous pace going forward, and it's amazing he can just cut out the midfield completely.
Well, it's the same as what they teach you when you're growing up. If you've played football at a decent level, they always say, if you're on the defensive end, don't get caught flat-footed. Don't get caught flat with your back line. And that's exactly what happened with these over-the-top through balls where Dani's been able to connect.
And what option is he actually using on the controller to play that ball? You know, on the Xbox or the PlayStation, how would one go about it?
We're looking at a full power chip through ball, basically. And it's all about timing, making sure that everything's aligned. And it's also a little bit on Ryan, too, where he doesn't have his spacing. Maybe he thinks that he's going to go in a different direction. You get caught out a little bit. FIFA's all about timing. That's not changing this year, next year, or any of the future installments.
Chance here for Dani with Sergio Ramos, who flicks it up, puts the ball across, but it's headed away for #Ryan. Dani looking to get a goal back in this game as Ryan tries to counter with his own over-the-top through ball. Eusebio's one-on-one with the keeper. Will he score? Left-footed shot saved by the icon, Peter Schmeichel. And both teams now missing very good one-on-one opportunities.
4-2-3-1.
We talk about having a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, but it gets so tricky when you have this many foot items. How do you build your squad? What's best for your play style? You have to be very honest when you're putting together the team and the formation. Who's going to suit you best on the virtual pitch?
Dani and
Obviously,
Ryan
custom tactics are a
plays,
huge part of it as well. How much variance do we see at this level between custom tactics? Like, are there certain things that you think everyone's going to play? Is everyone, for example, going to have their fullbacks on stay back while attacking? Is that something that's across the board?
In terms of tactics, we see a lot of different ways of trying to pressure somebody, trying to sit back, and then switching in between. In terms of squad building, that's where we don't always see that much differentiation. We see a lot of the same players in the same spots on the pitch constantly, time and time again. However, with all these new foot items from the team of the season, people haven't tested them at the competitive level, so they kind of want to know. Are they certified? Are they solidified? Can I count on them? A good example is when Team of the Year happened. Everybody looked at Mbappe and said, I think he's going to be a super sub. One tournament, and that changed. He was an instant starter.
Yeah. Can happen in real life as well. A player can have a breakout tournament and become a really popular player. And it's happened in FIFA as well. As we approach half-time in this first leg, Ryan does get back in this for Ajax. Ryan will be looking to close out this first leg with a decent second-half performance. Do you think that if you're Ryan right now, you take this scoreline going into the second leg?
If he can keep a clean sheet, especially in this year's installment, and just the margins are so fine, they're so small, Ryan's got to be happy with that.
Seen Dani introduce team of the season, Aubameyang, as a replacement for Eusebio. See what he can do in this second half. After a risky switch from Ryan, he's going to lead to a goal kick.
Terrifying foot item to go up against team of the season Aubameyang, especially if you're looking for chip through balls or just deep releases. Aubameyang plays perfectly into that tactic.
And Ryan's given the ball away once more with De Gea there, and he's got away with it again, but he's got to be a little bit more careful if he wants to sustain this lead. He's almost done it again here. And Aubameyang, of course, talking about him, he also comes with, he's not necessarily known for his heading, but he is tall, 6'2", I believe. It's not a bad option to have the height up there as well, as we know how dominant you can be with headers in this game.
I consider Aubameyang one of those players that stands out if you play a very direct style, pass, and you go through. If you're looking for some of the more intricate build-up, Aubameyang doesn't feel as agile. Maybe it's some of that size compared to some of the other options you have at this level.
It makes sense for the way Dani was playing in the first half, at least. He was trying to get through and goal very quickly with that direct style you talk about. So Aubameyang clearly is someone that Dani feels suits his style. As he looks to go through here, and he finds Mendy forward from left back. Can he deliver? Whips it in towards the back post. Great header away from the big Dutchman, Van Dijk. Still Mbappe, though. Vieira with a very important interception for Ryan, and he can look to counter. He's got Aubameyang unleashing Havertz on the right. Can he whip it in? He's going to hold it up a little bit first because he's waiting for someone to get into the box. And I think it actually might have been Ryan that brought Aubameyang on, not Dani. And here is Aubameyang. Going to play it back to Vieira, who got a goal for Ryan very early on indeed in the matchup. Hullet to Neymar Jr. Perhaps, did he mean to shoot from there? Do you think was that a failed fake shot?
I'm thinking it's a failed fake shot. And you talked about tactics earlier. Something you're noticing with Dani, he's using his fullbacks where they're definitely not stay back. Yeah. Mendy's overlapping at all times, and he wants that additional width.
You see Mendy's almost level with the furthest forward player for Dani at any one point. And Ruud Hullet gives the ball back to Patrick Vieira, who finds Hullet again for Dani of Ajax. Ruud Hullet, an Ajax legend, of course. And now it's Ryan's Hullet on the ball. Both teams using Hullet and Vieira as the men in the middle. Dumfries to the outside of the right foot, as he is a right-footed left-back, of course, being used by Ryan. Traditionally, he's a right-back, and what a shot that is from your man, Kai Havertz. Hashtag Ryan, 3-0 up against Ajax Dani.
He won't let you down. And there's something to be said. I know he has a 5-star weak foot, but having a left-footed player on the pitch, you kind of have to respect it. And some of the trajectory and just options you get when you have a true left-footed player, it's a little bit different, especially if you hit the outside of the boot shots.
And he did green that shot, perfectly timed as well, which obviously makes it that much harder for the keeper to stop it. So Dani very much in the driving seat here. The perfect first leg performance so far, at least. Ajax Dani needs to find an answer. And he hasn't really utilised his kickoffs just yet. Mendy's going to go back to Varane. Hullet. Can Dani get an immediate reply here? Ronaldo somehow squeezes through and finds that reply. The clean sheet is gone. 3-1. Dani looking to get back in this.
And Ryan might have just relaxed just a tad bit, where he said, okay, I've got my 3 goals. I can take a step back. And before you know it, you concede. And now Dani has to feel like he's got some confidence because he really hasn't been in this game. He's been better in the second half. He's had more of the play. But this has not been a grade A or a top-tier performance from Ajax Dani.
Plenty of time still for that to change. Interesting that Dani's gone with the red FUT Champions Reward version of Team of the Season Ronaldo. And you know, obviously we know if you get one of them in real life, I'd always try and use the red items where I can, because I think it's a little bit of a mental game on your opponent. They start to worry about how good you are because you've got these rewards. But in this case, they're all available to the players playing here in Hamburg. As Neymar gets the ball in the box, whips it in towards the back post, looking for another player for hashtag Ryan. I think it was Havertz. But now Dani can come back at Ryan. Mendy getting advanced on that left side once again. He finds Havertz, who finds Hullet. Back to Havertz, good ball. And chance for Ryan with Ronaldo on his left foot. Squeezes across, gets it on his right foot, which is what it looked like Dani needed to do.
He's coming back.
Going to back him on the left foot. He managed to find the space. 3-2, he's back in it.
And you've got to give a lot of credit to Ajax Dani for using that La Croqueta in order to get the angle. Most people, they're in that situation. They got space. You've got Ronaldo. You're thinking, I got to shoot. I got to let this loose. But he takes that extra step, that extra dribble, gets the correct angle. He slots it home, 3-2. In a game that it really hasn't been in his favor. If you're looking at the scaling of this match from start to finish, it's almost been all hashtag Ryan. Maybe he took his focus away for 5, 6 to 7 minutes of game time, and he's conceded 2 goals.
Yeah, it's cost him. And, you know, you can be 3-2 up in a match, but in this scenario, feel the worst of the two because he's essentially let a 3-0 lead slip. So in his head right now, he's feeling down. Dani, on the other hand, is feeling great because he's got it back from 3-0, and he'd probably take this scoreline going into the second leg, knowing that he was 3-0 down, and there's all to play for in the second leg. So Ryan needs to stop the rot, so to speak, and maybe try and bounce back himself from kickoff here. 17 minutes of FIFA time left in this first leg.
And you talked about this on the couch earlier, saying that Ryan has been working on his just mental strength and not giving up. So we're going to find out in this match versus Dani if that's the case.
Ryan doing a lot of intricate passes there between his centre-backs. Not looking to get it upfield from kickoff right away. Almost like he's settling for the 3-2 scoreline, which maybe is not the worst idea, as in it's a victory going into the second leg. But when you've been 3-0 up in a game, you've got to feel like you can score again.
I think Ryan just wants to change the pace. I don't think he liked the pace that the game was starting to move towards. And if he can make it where he can limit it to maybe 2 more attacks, he gets a goal, then he regains that momentum heading into the second leg.
Just over 10 minutes left of normal time here. Maldini switching it over to Dumfries. Dani needs to come and press if he's going to get this ball off Ryan. And how much does Dani want to gamble in trying to get this to the level playing field? Or would he be happy with this scoreline, considering he was 3 goals adrift? So it's 1-2s between the 2 Dutch players here. De Costa inside to Maldini. Ruud hit it over to Dumfries. This is very much taking place in the hashtag half right now. And Dani seems relatively okay with that. Ryan's not trying to get it up to his wide midfielders. He's brought on a few players. He brought on Messi and he brought on Mbappe. Hullet over to Dumfries, who's got space to attack right now. When he gets the ball there, he could have gone forward, but it's clearly not in Ryan's plans.
Well, at this point, why not wait it out? if Ajax Dani's not going to come out, fine. We're already in the 86th, going on the 87th minute. I want the last attack.
You think he will go for the attack?
He will go for the attack, but I don't think he's going to start moving forward until maybe the 90th or so.
Okay.
It just doesn't make sense for Ryan right now. You've already held it for 10 minutes of game time. Wait it out, get the last attack. If you score, that puts a lot more pressure on Dani heading into the second leg.
He's slowly working into Dani's half here, but he's going to go back, and the defensive line is quite high now. Dumfries into Hullet. Van Dijk. There's space for the right back now to receive. Now we're into injury time. 1 minute left. Is this where he attacks? Da Costa is going to look to get this ball forward now, I think. Vieira does it. Mbappe. It's got to be now. Mbappe, can he make it 4 for Ryan? Still Mbappe. There's a pass on inside. He flicks it up instead. It's Ronaldo who rescues it. Pull it back to Ronaldo. To Mbappe. Shoot. Can he shoot? Great skill in the box. Fantastic block from Ruud Hullet. And that will be all she wrote for the first leg. Ryan takes the win, 3-2, carrying it into the second leg. But, Mike, he was 3-0 up. So, on the balance, who will be the most happy about that scoreline?
You got to think that Dani's going to be happier than Ryan because he was down 3 goals. To only be down 1 going into the second leg, it's anyone's game. But at the same time, I thought that Ryan did a good job kind of regaining his composure, holding the ball there towards the end, just letting Dani know that I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to change my game plan. I want to frustrate you as well.
I'm not going to let you get it back to 3-0, essentially, is what he said. We'll take a look at the highlights from that first leg now and see where it went right, where it went wrong for the two players. And it was quite an early goal here for Ryan, going through with Neymar into the box against Dani and finding Patrick Vieira completely unmarked, onside, and Schmeichel making it easy for him.
Very clean counterattack there. Quick passing, open goal. Vieira's never going to miss from there.
It was about 11 minutes later that Neymar did this little bit of magic, making his way past 3 players, and then the fantastically timed left-footed shot past Schmeichel made it 2-0 to #Ryan. And that was all in the first half. You can see him celebrating there alongside his teammate #HoneyBadger. In the second half, Ryan continued his dominance, managing to make it 3-0 with a fantastic, also green time shot from Kai Havertz, who you're a big fan of.
We always talk about that dominant left foot. It's a good example there. No goalkeeper saving that. Not today, not tomorrow, but not next week.
Credit to Dani, who bounced back straight away from kickoff, makes it 3-1 here, starts to get back into the game. And then it was only a few minutes later, he gets another one, also with Ronaldo, who didn't back his left foot. I think he probably made the better percentage chance. Once he got that centimetre in front of Maldini, he felt confident he had the positioning to shift it onto the right foot and put it away. So we're going to jump into the second leg very shortly. But if you're coaching Ryan and Dani here, what would you say to each player?
Well, this is between HoneyBadger and Ryan in terms of confidence, in terms of preparation. But if Dani's not going to come out of what he's been doing, I'd probably start the game similar to how I left it off in terms of holding the ball, being very slow and precise with my attacks. I want Dani to feel like I'm limiting him, that he needs to make changes. I don't need to make adjustments. I'm up a goal right now.
Always a little bit risky only having the 1-goal lead, though. And what would you be saying to Dani? Would you be telling him to attack from minute 1?
I would tell Dani to do more of the second half compared to the first half. First half, I felt like he was neutralized. We just didn't see many chances. We didn't see a game plan. It wasn't structured. Those deep lobs going forward, that's not what anybody strives for at the competitive FIFA level. However, in the second half, whether it was working or it wasn't, we saw more of those overlapping runs. We saw a lot more space. We saw somebody who wanted to score goals, who was showing a bit more aggressive play going forward, and you have to commit to it. FIFA rewards you for being decisive. On the offensive end, the same can be said for the defensive end. And then, of course, the last 10 minutes or so, it was more of a sit back. I think Dani was ready for leg number 2, and then Ryan, at the same time, didn't want to potentially throw away a lead.
Yeah, I think Dani's not a player in the past who's ever worried about the way his game style is perceived. He's a player that finds an effective way to win and does that. And, you know, he had to change his game style mid-game, and he managed to get back into it. So certainly not over this one. Lots to still talk about and to watch. And there's a reason that Ajax Dani is sitting safely in the top 10 right now and already has his spot booked to the FEWC. The same can't be said for #Ryan, who did play in FIWC a couple of years ago, missed out last year, wants to get back at the world's biggest stage, but has got a fair bit of work to do today to do that. I think he needs to get to at least the last 16 of this tournament, if not the last 8, to guarantee that progression. So this game very important.
Yeah, he's definitely on the cuff. He's knocking on the door, but it does depend, of course, how he performs first off, but then also what happens with the rest of the competition.
Okay, so this game will get underway very shortly. Ryan versus Dani. You predicted at the start of the first game you felt Dani might be dominant over the 2 legs.
Wait, no, I said Ryan's going to get this.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I said I think Danny's favored it here.
Oh, okay.
But I've got Ryan. I'm going to go with my heart here. I think Ryan's going to want it more.
And you're sticking
because
with
he needs it. Yep, we're still going to stick with Ryan. We're not switching up midway. That's just not how we do things here. And it comes down to wanting it more. I really feel like in FIFA with those fine margins that whoever has that extra oomph, so to speak, will get the result.
Yeah, I mean, the big difference between, and there's lots of games like this going on today, the big difference between Danny and Ryan here is Danny's playing for a lot of credit in the community. He's playing for a lot of money. $75,000 goes to the winner, of course, and still seeding as well. If he can get a few more spots up on the overall leaderboard, it will change the group draw for him. Maybe a little bit, not a huge amount, but it could still be helpful going into FEWC. Ryan is different. Ryan's playing for his season. Danny's season is not over after this weekend, guaranteed. Ryan's could be. So it's that survival mode he finds himself in that could bring out the fighter in Ryan. And so far, so good for him. But only one go up, it means nothing in FIFA. We've seen Ryan himself come back from 4-0 down earlier this season at the FUT Champs Cup. So, you know, Danny will know that. Danny's, I'm sure, been on the receiving end and delivered many comebacks over the years. So definitely one to watch as we're about to get this underway. And Badger, obviously, as a coach, you know, how important is it for you to have someone in your corner that's been there and done that? He played at FEWC last year, I should say.
I like the players starting to introduce coaches. Now all the players have somebody there, and it's important because when you're playing FIFA, even if you're at the professional level, you can still have tunnel vision, where you don't see the mistakes that you're making because you're so involved in that game. You're so focused that you're not seeing that maybe you're rushing your gameplay a little bit, or that you're leaving the wings a little too wide open. Even if you're not conceding, your coach might notice that and say, hey, you need to make adjustments now, or you will start to concede, or you're going to start to give up easy outlets for your opposition. And that's what they're there for. Or if you have a tough loss or even a great win, he could be there to settle you down or to build you up.
Yeah, you don't always have to be a good coach. You don't have to necessarily play at the highest level. It's a different skill to be able to see the game and to make observations that sometimes players can't do whilst playing themselves.
And it's kind of like a manager in football to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Understanding the player, what to say that's going to work for this person on the individual level.
And how coachable is the player. It doesn't matter how good a coach you are. If the player's not coachable, if he won't listen, you're not going to get very far. But we are underway here in the second leg, as you can see, currently 3-2 to Ryan. But Dani trying to change that early doors with a long shot from Ruud Gullit. But that was easily saved by De Gea for Ryan. So Ryan back on the ball now in the yellow and blue #United kit, going right to left against Dani in the Ajax white and red. And it's Eusebio on the ball. He's going to flick it up and cross it in. Look for the big man in the box. But it's headed away comfortably by Dani.
And often with those flick-up crosses or even an El Tornado cross, it's not the initial ball that's going to score the goal, but actually the secondary ball, that secondary 50-50 where you have a Ruud Gullit or a Vieira that steps into space and they're able to create some kind of conflict or some havoc right in the middle of the pitch. If you win that 50-50, you end up with an opportunity.
And as someone who's become fairly effective at a low level on delivering my own El Tornado crosses and flick-up crosses from time to time, I have to admit, if you're not familiar with it, chance, deflection for a corner. If you're not familiar with it, it can look like it's really easy, but timing is really crucial. You've got to deliver it at the right time. You've got to be aware of the runs of your attacking players. The ball comes in here. Schmeichel has not comfortably punched that away as I expected him to. He's ended up going for another corner, another chance for Ryan, but headed away at the front post by Dani. Schmeichel not having a great couple games for Dani.
It's an out-of-the-ordinary choice. The new meta suggests that pro players are trying to use that 89 overall Van der Sar, better reactions on him. He gets out of his box relatively quickly if you need to make an aggressive decision.
I actually thought I did hear Dani talking to someone yesterday about his warm-up games, said Schmeichel's not been doing very well for him. I think I'm going to switch to Van der Sar. And when you consider the Ajax option as well, the Van der Sar is another legend there. He still works there now. I thought he would have done that, but he's stuck with Schmeichel.
And Van der Sar has those links to Van Dijk, of course, which is very important. It's an easy link up, and you get that chemistry.
Sergio Ramos here, trying to deliver, playing right back for Dani.
And if you guys are brand new to FIFA Ultimate Team, the reason that chemistry is so important is because it allows your players to perform at a better level. They're all on the same page, the higher the chemistry. You don't really want to have guys off chem, especially not at the pro level.
Yeah, it brings out the best in them, you could say, and it's a free kick now for Dani in a very good position, just outside #Ryan's box. He's got Ramos standing over it at the moment, but he's going to switch it up and go over Ronaldo. Now, is he going to shoot this, Mike? He's going to lay it off. Okay, over to Ruud Gullit. Good tackle from Maldini. And there's advantage being played for Ryan here. Van Dijk into Hullet. Ryan just going to slow things down again. He's in control, only just. He's lost the ball here, but he gets it back. Da Costa into Havertz. Down the line for Vieira, who's getting forward quite a bit for Ryan, and that ball's not quite going to make its intended target.
Ryan's got Van Dijk way out of position right now as well. He needs to pull him back ASAP.
He needs to retreat for the hills. Mendy coming in from left back for Dani. Good pass. Ronaldo's got options now. Ruud Gullit back to Ronaldo. Into R9, who gets the green shot off, but there's a man in the way. Corner. It's going to go short. Mbappe flicks it up behind him. Lovely skill. Van Dijk so hard to get past here. Another shot hits Van Dijk in the midriff. He's just he's everywhere. He's just like a wall in front of the goal.
Dani would like to have that chance back. The reason that the shot was going to go wide before it got blocked, he didn't green it.
Yes, that is something which is definitely true. Virgil van Dijk on the ball. Mbappe.
I'll tell you what, the way that Dani attacks with these overlapping fullbacks is terrifying. It feels like someone's always open on the pitch. And it makes it where Ryan has to play more of a guessing game. Does he want to defend the inside of the pitch? Does he want to allow the wings? Does he want to try to take away the wings? He has to make a decision, though.
Where is Dani playing Mbappe? Is he playing him centre mid? Because he seems to be right down the middle as he gets through into the box. Good block from Van Dijk, who's everywhere. But another chance, great turn, good save. David De Gea with the legs. Stops that one. Hullet. Ryan under the cosh right now, trying to play on a counter. I don't think Havertz is going to keep this in. It's going to roll out of play. And Ryan just going to try and compose himself. Half an hour gone in the first leg. Still 3-2 up, but Dani looking to get a goal. It seems like it's only a matter of time, Mike.
And what you're seeing right now on the virtual pitch is Ryan will always have the opportunity to counterattack because Dani commits so many bodies to the attack. However, with that being said, if Ryan doesn't go for a quick counter, Dani has everybody tracked back.
Yeah.
So he sits very deep, and now it's a whole completely different ball game in terms of how to build up and how to create chances. He's going to have a lot more additional passing, a lot more more intricate play, and some of those skill moves, the quick passing, it's going to be so difficult to open up space. And that's why you're seeing Ryan look for those quick counters.
Yeah, it switched 180 from the first half of the first leg, where Ryan was kind of making Dani be camped in his own half. The problem it causes for Ryan is that when he gets the ball, he wants to hold on to it and slow things down, so he takes risky passes at the back. Havertz gets it onto that left foot. Deflection. Yeah, Ryan's taking risky passes and giving himself more chance of giving the ball away. So it's a fascinating chess match between these two right now. Corner comes in for Dani, headed away by Van Dijk, who's got to be a front runner for man of the match for Ryan right now. He's been on the end of everything.
And Dani's doing his best to almost conceal the mix of being very aggressive on the defensive end and then sitting back and being extremely passive. And it makes it where Ryan's trying to figure out, how do I get him behind? What pass or what build-up strategy should I use? And he's a genius when he pulls it off and he has space in behind. And then he struggled with a couple giveaways, which have led to Dani looking the more likely in this half of the second leg.
He's managed to keep hold of the ball for a little bit, though, here, Ryan, and just push Dani back into his half and just alleviate the pressure for a little bit, at least, as we get closer to the break in this second leg.
And this is going to be very similar to what we saw at the end of the first leg. Ryan is going to attempt to hold possession until the final attack around the 45th minute or so.
Switches it over to Da Costa, who's in space. He can attack that space, but he's not going to do that. He's going to turn back once again and switch it over to Dumfries. Goes to Hullet. Again, winding that clock down until he gets to close to injury time, as Mike suggests. He's got options down the line here. Keeper's out. He can shoot that, and he's gone low, Mike. Why did he not put a bit of height on that? Is that Dani just baiting him, saying, go on then, have a shot?
I think he caught him off guard. And that's something that Dani can do because he's already qualified. He's already good to go for the E-World Cup.
And now Dani's got the chance to have the last attack of this half. And if he goes and scores now, that keeper decision would be brilliant from Dani, quite frankly. And it's Hullet and Vieira. And Hullet again. Dani, it's going to have to be now. Last seconds of the half. Havertz going to get a shot off. Really important block for Ryan, but Dani has a corner. And he could still level it up before the break. Is he going to go short and look for the flick up again, or is he going to deliver this? I think he might have to deliver, considering the clock. Taking his time, trying to get his players in the right position in the box. It comes in very high at the back post, headed straight into De Gea. So we're going to have half-time, I'm sure, any second now. How would you feel that first half's gone, Mike?
It's getting a little more tense. Even though we saw that moment towards the end, and I would love to know if Ajax Dani would do that in a different situation, because he's kind of playing for free money.
Yeah.
Because he's already got the spot. He's in the top 16. Yes, there's a ton of money at this event. You want to get a win, but he could take some additional risk. He knows that they're 1-1 right now. If he were to drop this game, he's still got more chances in the Swiss stage.
That chance was scoreable though for Ryan. He just didn't get it in the air enough. What technically would you have done on the buttons to get that in? Would you just held shoot and held LB perhaps as well?
He needed more power. I wouldn't use a chip. It's just too slow.
Too far away as well, maybe.
Maybe
using a finesse shot, but Ryan just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And to be fair to Ryan, why would he be? We haven't seen that type of aggressive goalkeeper play in any of the matches today.
But he went for the shot still, so it makes me think that he was kind of... It was a good move from Dani. It was a risky move, like you say, he can take those risks. Anyway, second half now. So we've got 45 minutes left of FIFA time. Dani currently behind to #Ryan.
And if Ryan has this his way, he's going to want to have as much possession play as possible. He's looking to kill off this game. Like we've said time and time again, this means so much to Ryan, and he still might have it in the back of his head right now, or the back of his mind. I was up 3
Ryan
goals to
killing
0.
the match.
You've got to put that sort of thought out of your head when it comes to a game. As long as you're still in it, you have to forget about everything else that's passed and think about what's ahead of you. There's a chance here for Ryan. Mbappe has got pace. He should get away from the man behind him. He's got someone coming through the middle. As Neymar finds R9 Ronaldo, whose shot was blocked.
And Dani will patiently wait. He doesn't need to make adjustments tactically just yet. It's only 1 goal, and he's got a lot of time on the clock.
Good header there from Dumfries. Finds Cristiano Ronaldo. Tries to return the pass. Now Ryan's left back is out of position. Ruud Hullit's filled in for him, as any good, hard-working centre midfielder will do for his fullbacks. And Neymar finds Cristiano Ronaldo. Hullit to Dumfries. And Ryan's defence pushed quite high now. Maybe we're going to see a return to that tactic from Ryan, but he's gone a bit further forward now than Mbappe. Neymar gets it back acrobatically to Vieira, to Costa, Maldini. Neymar now into Hullit, who's in space. Oh, he's hit it first time there from Cristiano. It would have been a great goal, but he couldn't get it on target.
And what happened in that situation is that he saw that Ajax Dani started to move his goalkeeper, and Ryan attempted to switch to the other direction. He tried to aim to the other post, and he's a little bit late, and that's why I went way over the goal. It was just mistimed. But he's trying to adjust or react to the goalkeeper movement from Ajax Dani.
It's once again maybe a tactic of Dani using his goalkeeper to force an error by Ryan and get him off the ball. And it is Dani on the ball now, so his tactic seems to have worked. Havertz is such a menace in the box. When he pulls out those La Croquetas, you don't know what way he's going to go, because yes, he's left-footed, but with a 5-star weak foot, he can shoot on either side. So hard to defend against.
And then he has that size. We always talk about Vieira and Ruud Gullit and the ability they have to cover so much space in the midfield because of their height and just long legs and their impact and the way that they lunge for tackles. Havertz almost has a similar effect on the offensive end.
Ryan just not able to keep the ball in the same way that he was doing in the first half and at the latter stages of the first game. Dani now putting the pressure back on Ryan. He needs a goal to take it to extra time. 2, of course, would win it for Dani. Ryan being penned in a little bit here with Ronaldo pulling out the skills. Vieira over to Hullit for Dani. Now Mbappe, who's playing in a central position for the Dutchman. Can he get a shot off here?
Hullit again.
Got yellow shirts all around him. Vieira into Hullit. Fake shot was nice. Still Hullit. Loads of space. Little deflection. Alleviated the pressure, albeit temporarily, for Ryan. Vieira now. He's getting a little bit of space, too much space. Mbappe squeezing through. Good shot. Great save. De Gea forces the corner. Dani's had quite a few shots this game. Mostly, though, De Gea's been equal to them.
At the end of the day, the scoreline hasn't changed.
No. And
the clock's still ticking down. We're going to start to see Dani become a little more aggressive. You would think that he's done letting Ryan hold the ball. He's not going to at least not going to let him do that for free anymore.
Don't tell me you will defend more.
You got to take some risk. You need that reward. But Dani has, and I know I sound like a broken record, has looked the more likely in this match. But at the end of the day, if you don't convert your opportunities, you're not clinical. It doesn't matter. FIFA's a harsh game. If you don't take your 1v1s, if you don't hit that green time finish, forget about it.
Ryan making some changes here just to freshen up his attacking options. He's moved R9 Ronaldo to the left, Cristiano Ronaldo into the number 10 role, if you like, and Aubameyang has come off the bench as a lone striker to really try and lead that line and maybe trying to get on the end of some counter-attacks for Ryan, because I do expect it to be a counter-attacking game style for the remaining 21 minutes
Yeah, he
or
will
so
play on counter.
of this second leg here. This is a game, this is 1-for-1 record, 1 win, 1 loss both players have. As Dani takes the short corner, Eusebio's not being closed down, chance at the back post. What a punch away from De Gea, because Van Dijk had greened that. It was going in, no doubt about it. De Gea had to get something on it, and he did. Dumfries is going to switch it over to Da Costa. Ryan just needs to keep an eye on this clock now and get himself this crucial second victory here in Hamburg.
Oh, he's definitely using his peripheral vision right now. He's looking at the clock time and time again. You're probably looking at that radar at the bottom of your screen as well. Can he swing it side to side? Does he have somebody open? What are his outlets?
Hullit's going to switch that. It's interesting that Da Costa's still fairly narrow. He's obviously got his defence lined up to be quite narrow because they're not hugging the touchline, either fullback, which would make the switch perhaps a little bit easier, but obviously leave more gaps for attackers to squeeze through.
And I'm surprised we're not seeing Ajax Dani use additional attackers. I mean, you could tell that he has a little more drive, so to speak, to put bodies forward, but they're just not there. He hasn't started to commit. We're not seeing offside trap or team pressing being implemented, and you've got to go for the win here. There you go. We got some bodies going forward, finally.
They're coming at him now. It's going to be a backs to the wall for Ryan. Oh, his passes are dangerous. He's got away with that, though, and now he could counter. He's got Aubameyang to aim at. Goes to Ruud Gullit, who might play it back again. But Dani's going to keep attacking. There is red and white kits everywhere now. I mean, this is, I know it's not a lot of shots going on right now, but it's still fascinating to me to watch how Ryan handles the onslaught of attacking players coming at him. And he's done very well there to get the 1-2 off with the 2 Ronaldos. R9 now with a little bit of space. Finds Cristiano. Van Dijk misses the challenge. Ball in. Oh, it's just not got to Mbappe. Schmeichel does well to smother it.
That's a mistake from #Ryan. He should have recycled once more.
Will it come back to bite him? Just over 6 minutes left of this second leg. Both players 1-1 on the leaderboard. The loser will go 1 and 2.
Final 5 minutes.
Mbappe for Dani. Inside to Vieira. Vieira finds Eusebio. Can he get a shot off here? Closed down by 2 #Ryan players. No. And he's made a mistake, and Gullit gets it. Aubameyang now. Can Ryan keep the ball and counter? Trying to play it over the top of Ramos for Aubameyang to chase. Not the best back pass. Schmeichel gets there. Only a few minutes left for Dani to get a goal. Still plenty of time for a couple of attacks, I'd say. Havertz on the ball. Into Vieira, who finds Ramos getting forward now, as the centre-back loves to do. What a tackle from Paolo Maldini. He made a career out of making tackles like that. And that could be enough for Ryan. Nearly the end of normal time.
Ryan's got to be careful here. Just no mistakes. If he has to go big, go big.
There's going to be gaps for him to attack. He doesn't need a goal. He just needs to keep the ball. There's a ball on there. Oh, and you know what? He almost got away with it. What a ball that is. Offside. 45 seconds left of injury time for Dani to attack. It's got to be now. He can't afford to mess a pass up. Ruud Gullit gets a very important touch here. Chance, though, shows too much of the ball to Van Dijk. That should be all over. There is the final whistle. Great game between these two regulars at the top of the FIFA pyramid, if you like. #Ryan gets the win, 3-2 against Dani. Your thoughts on that game, Mike?
It wasn't the prettiest FIFA matchup we've ever seen. We saw a lot of